Yeah, thank you so much, Shipra, for the comparative landscape that you provided as to what other countries are doing. So apart from our own views, I think we have a number of areas where we can take some inspiration or at least emulate some of the steps that are taken by the other countries. And, so I think let us look at different segments basically. So first segment, obviously, we have to take care of is bottom of the pyramid. So some measures can be taken to see that the poorest of the lot in the country is first taken care of. I think that's in terms of priority. Second is MSME, medium and small scale kind of industries. I think they have a tough time because it's very difficult to understand how a small entrepreneur manages his cash flow, people, regulatory stuffs and stuff like that, and also payment of taxes or whatever it is. It's very, they don't have organized setup. We have to really appreciate what they are doing, and maximum employment, if I'm not mistaken, is currently or even otherwise created by MSME sector. So I think again that deserves a lot of sympathy. Third is a corporate sector, and I think that is where a number of issues can arise, and they generally create a lot more organized employment. They have more organized role to play in the economy and on a cross-border basis as well. So the issues that arise, we will also have to deal with them. Now there will be two types of corporations: one, the Indian companies, and other one will be the foreign companies. As Shipra mentioned, that Australia and other jurisdictions have also given relaxation in terms of either tax residency or permanent establishment or other kind of board meetings to be held in Australia and not constituting place of effective management and stuff like that. Our law has become a little more complicated in the last couple of years. People are coming to grips with even the concepts of poem and stuff like that, So it would be very helpful if we can discuss some of those ideas. We are going to be having some more discussion later part of today, I believe, at 9 o'clock on corporate tax residency and other individual tax residency in the context of COVID. But for the time being, I will ask Rajesh to make some comments on this subject as to what all can be done so that, for these segments and whether it's individual, MSME, corporate, and then we can discuss and we'll open up to question and answers after that. So Rajesh, can and I think the number of things that you can discuss, and Parul would have some comments to add. So let's go.
And let's as Nishith rightly pointed out, you have to break any kind of approach into the specific sections of the most. The announcements which the finance minister has made till now, you actually look at it, it is sort of targeted towards the bottom of the pyramid. Whether it is relief in respect of certain EPF payout from the government, or in terms of direct transfer of benefits of around 2,000 that would be credited on in April, or even towards the women's self-help group. So all of those payments are all targeted towards the bottom of the pyramid. And obviously, when we have this kind of situation which comes about, the first care has to be taken towards those who have the greatest need, even for basic necessities, and which is what the government has done. Ideally, you would want them to do more, but hopefully, I think it's only the first series of measures which they have come about. The second aspect around it is that what is going to happen, whether it's over the next 3 months, whether it's over the next 6 months, is that even for any salaried professional or any other individuals, they are all going to have, just as the corporates are going to face a liquidity issue, you're going to have the same issue even faced by the salaried class or even individuals. So I think one aspect which the government has to go back and relook at is, while over a period of time we have raised the exemptions as far as the taxable bracket is concerned, we do have to relook at it so that as an interim measure, at least whether it's for 1 year or whether it's for 2 years, raise the exemption limits significantly. I think that is something that would need to be done, if nothing else, to provide succor during hard times. We are also going to grapple with a situation as to, we don't know whether there is going to be job losses or the quantum of job losses which are going to happen. So while the government has provided measures such as saying that they will provide 25% of the salary for those below 15,000 by crediting it to the EPF accounts, the question is whether the government can actually do more. We've seen in some of the other countries where the governments are stepping in to actually make payments or stepping into the shoes whereby for employers to actually have the salaries paid of the workers and to try and step in to ensure that there are no job losses. But I think that's a critical component in terms of what the government needs to do. The other aspects which they also need to focus on are things like, what are the kind of deductions that you will make for medical expenditure? To the caps and limits, we should obviously be looking at increasing it. And the other aspect also, as far as individuals are concerned, is to try and see what mechanism can we have, so that if individuals are facing job losses, the government will sort of step in and have a social security mechanism. Because India is a country where we've always struggled on the social security aspects. While we have employee provident fund and a few other social security benefits, but they're not really enough. So in any kind of situation where people are facing cash flow, they are going to dip into savings. So that's also the other aspect in terms of allowing people to withdraw, whether from their social security or provident fund. Those are all aspects which the finance ministry has to look at. That is insofar as individuals. The second part of it are also, as Nishith rightly pointed out, are the corporates and the MSME. And Parul, let me bring you in for that in terms of the measures that need to be introduced, at least from a corporate or a MSME perspective.